Alright, we're going to be doing a walkthrough the example packet. Now there's two ways to access it. The easiest and most preferred way is to simply scroll down to the bottom, find the attachments, and look for the file that says Trebek Alex period 4 narrative structure. And you go ahead and you could view or download it. So in this case I'm going to download it. Okay, once you download it, go ahead and open it up. And you'll see it opens up right in PowerPoint, and you can go through and take a look at the example. In fact, if you open it in PowerPoint, you could even go in there and edit some of the things in there. Okay, so that's one way. Of course, if you click on View, it'll actually show you a sort of a Google version of it. So we just wait for it to load here. Okay, so here we have a view mode. Now we can't edit the text, and some of the graphics looks like it gets lost in translation, but you can still see how the worksheet is done. Another way to access the slides, if you don't have PowerPoint or OpenOffice.org, you can view it by going to your Gmail account, click on Documents. Once you're in Documents, go to Folders Shared with Me, go to the 12th shared folder, and you'll see listed in there is Trebek Alex period 4 narrative structure. So you can just open it up that way, and that'll actually use Google Presentations to enable you to view the slides. Now these slides you can't change at all, but you can still look at the content. So those are the ways you can actually access the slides. So the first slide is basically the directions and instructions, and you're going to put your first last name period at the top. The next slide is your basic concept, or I call it the book cover. And so I spent a lot of time trying to make this slide look pretty good for myself, because this is where you get your inspiration, your mood, your theme for your story. So you go ahead and make the book cover, play with the fonts, make it your own. At the top is a brief synopsis. It's sort of like something you would read on the back of a book, although it's a little structured. And so down here in the speaker's notes, you can see it tells you how to write the synopsis. It's not the only way, but it is a way to help guide your thoughts and your thinking. So as you go through the synopsis, your story will actually begin to form. The next slide is your characters. This basically lists the characters you will use in your story. Now, you may not use all of these characters in your stories, and that's okay. Then what we're trying to do here is get you to think about your story. Now, if you want more information about the characters, just go to the course website and go down to Hero's Journey Archetypes, and this actually will give you the information you need about the characters. Okay, then you start to focus on your hero. Now again, this is conceptual, so if you come up with a graphic, you're not locked into that. It's just an idea of what your hero might look like. And so you want to give a physical description, and then the emotional description, which you can make up, but you can also use internet resources. For example, I provided a link down here at the bottom. If you go to that link, what it does is it lists the different career personality types, and just click on whichever one fits your hero, and then you could just pick and choose which personality traits might fit. So it's not exactly copying and pasting, but at the same time you don't have to just come up with all these ideas from scratch. You can borrow on the work of psychologists that are out there on the internet. Then, people have habits, and so I put this box here to help you to think a little bit more detailed about your hero as a real person. And then they have wants and fears, and the monologue would be the exact words your hero would say to the world, given the opportunity. The shadow is the opposite of your hero. Now, and so you just fill it out with just the opposite traits. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly the opposite in every way, but if you think in terms of opposites, it can help you to shape the hero. Then you have the plot overview, and what you're going to do here is you're going to watch a story or a movie, and you're going to basically fill out the hero's journey plot as you watch the film. And if you forgot what the hero's journey is all about, go to the course website, and there is a slideshow, and there is also 3 audio tutorials on the hero's journey. So once you get used to analyzing and looking for the different stages of the hero's journey, you're going to then do that for your own story. So you go ahead and fill it out, and then you're going to highlight the section you will probably write about. Since I don't expect you, nor should you, try to fit an entire hero's journey into 10 pages. Instead, you're going to write a particular section of your story. Then you have the friendship circles. This basically is just helping you decide where the relationships are. So the inner circle, this person gets to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything about your hero. Whereas as you move outside, these people get access to more shallow information. Then the dialogue. What you want to do here, use a friend. I can't say it enough. Call a friend, text a friend, email a friend, have a conversation, and you basically just go back and forth. So you go here, then it bounces here, kind of like a tennis match. And you bounce back and forth until you get to the bottom. And what you want to do is, if you cover up one side of it, okay, one person should sound different than the other. And that's a tool that professional screenwriters do to create conversations. But I highly recommend you have a friend. And at the top, basically you just want to say, this character wants this, but this character wants that. They're not always opposite, but they're usually different. And in every conversation, somebody wants something different from that conversation. So that's basic dialogue. Then you want to get an image or draw a map of a specific scene. So we started with the overview, but now we're going to get more detailed. And so I picked an image from the internet, and I thought I can use that in my story. And so then you want to come down to the bottom and fill out specifics, smell, sounds, objects. What's the lighting like? And this is all in preparation for your actual writing. Okay, then the final step is to storyboard your story. So I hand drew my storyboard and I scanned it into the computer. But if you don't have access to that technology, you can just use internet pictures. So what I did is I did it by hand, and then I pasted real images on top of it. And what you want to do is you're basically going in order. And it's not quite like a comic book. It's more of directions of what's actually happening in that scene. And then what you can do is change this into actual writing. And then when you're all done, you get your peer feedback from your friends. As you can see right here, get feedback from 3 people, and you're ready to turn it in.